Thank you for joining me. This is Laurie of Laurie's Heirloom Sewing. And today I'm just kind of doing a little project. I was really trying to come up with something just groundbreaking. Yesterday I actually did make myself an apron out of one flour sack towel and a little tiny bit of leftover fabric from the robe. It turned out really cute. The reason that I decided to make it is I was making bread and I was wearing my Love Puppy black t-shirt, and I thought, you know, every time you make bread you get flour everywhere. I make bread every 3 days. Every 3 days. But it's weird how it aligned with the day that I would be wearing the black t-shirt. So out of necessity, and because I really didn't feel like changing my clothes, I made that apron, and I will show it to you in an upcoming video because I think it would be a really cute holiday project. And I'm not kidding, I think it might have taken me 15 minutes from start to finish. I believe it would fit just about anybody, and you could actually scale it to fit a child. So one flour sack kitchen towel, and I usually buy them in a pack of, I think they come in packs of 10 or 12. And if you watch for sales, you can get them on sale. It was just the white, 100% cotton hemmed around the edges. Perfect for an apron. Let's see, this morning I was trying to design a birthday card. So far, this is what I have. I'm not like, woohoo, but at the same time, I don't know. I went out and fertilized the flower bed in the front where I have my new elderberry and my struggling golden chain, and then in the back Shabby Versailles, Shade Palace, and Blueberry Manor got watered and semi-fertilized. They're all kind of on a different schedule because they're all coming up at different times, and with it being August the 5th, and by the way, happy National Underwear Day. What? I was so surprised to see that on Facebook today, but I'm not sure, but I'm terrified that it is a single spool of thread. I ordered a spool of thread, and I swear that's what this feels like. So I'm going to open it and find out. Please don't be a big box with a single thing of thread. Please don't be a big box with a single spool of thread. Oh my God. You guys, I swear. Look at that. That's all that was in this box. Wow. Is 1,000 meters or 1,094 yards of sort of a cream color, neutral color number 22, I guess we'll call it, thread, which I was running out of my 100%. The one I have on George right now, this is 100% cotton, and it also is on one of those mega, it's 876 yards or 800 meters, but it is 100% cotton thread. And if you are interested in the differences, one huge difference that might be a deal breaker for some is that 100% cotton thread really creates a lot of lint in your sewing machine. So it requires constant and vigilant care all the time. You have to make sure that you're getting all of those little lint pieces out. So here's progress on the embroidery for the little tally books that I'm currently working on, or little bitty notebooks, or name card notebooks for your holiday dinner. I've completed this one. I'm not 100% done with this one, and I'm still working on this one, but I found my color number 2074 100% cotton red, and I really kind of want to use it on this. I think that would be kind of cool. I might even do like a red and a black together. So that's what's happening with that. And let's see, one by one, the projects. So I haven't picked my tablecloth back up, but I'm going to. I just don't know if that's a today project or if that's going to be a project for another day. But this area right here on my sewing table has been annoying me to pieces right here. Not just because of this, which occurred because I thought it would be a great idea to iron on this, and of course it's thick and it's, you know, it's got lining and all the good stuff. Unfortunately, the steam that I chose to use that day went straight through. So this is a very old sewing table that was gifted to me by a friend. You know who you are. And it is a sewing machine table, but I'm not risking putting George on the lift table or whatever this is called. I would be absolutely horrified if something were to occur. And the part below where George would ultimately rest is wood that is really dry and brittle. At some point down the road, who knows, I may get just an absolute notion to refinish it, which it desperately needs. Maybe paint it. I think it would be so pretty. In my mind, I picture it kind of like a creamy overall with a little bit of teal, you know, put in strategic spots. It has all of the hardware. I have cherished and loved using it so much that I don't really want to get rid of it, and I certainly don't want to hurt it. But I need something right here. I have this that I made where I can kind of push and pull George as needed in this area here. But I need something that is underneath. And I just don't know if I make another mat, if that's going to work, or if I should just leave this mat. See, because I'm not taping or gluing or fastening any of these mats. The nice thing about this is when I have this mat in front here, I don't feel those ridges. They just disappear. So, oh, sorry, George. There we go. I found this in my stash, and I have to tell you, it was stored in a plastic box with a big lavender infused pincushion, and it smells like a wedding in here right now because of all the lavender. It's just awesome. Not to mention the fact that it's one of my favorite charm packs. to see what I think I'm going to need. I'm just going to lay them out. I hope that you guys have been able to work on your projects, whether it is a sewing project, a painting project, a drawing project, gardening, whatever brings you joy. I hope you're able to do what you enjoy doing. Now, of course, for the first sewing machine I ever used, and used for a long time, even after I got married, was my mother's featherweight, which I still have. I'll show it to you sometime. It's a wonderful little piece of heaven. All right, so the way I'm going to do this, and if you're not familiar with what this is a charm pack. And so it's 5 by 5. So from, as I think you can see, so from here to here is 5, and they are square, which makes them a wonderful, wonderful little project square. You can do so many things with them. Okay, but it does make them really easy to sew. And I'm going to use 1/4 of an inch seam allowance. So I don't know if you can see, but there's a line right here. Right there. And it is the first guideline past my sewing machine foot. All right. Now, the great thing about a sewing machine is you don't have to help it. I do recommend that you have your hand just guiding, but you don't have to push and shove and pull from the back. Just let the sewing machine do its job. This should be 4. It is 4. And we're going to put piece 5 right here. edge where we're forming columns here, but we're going to stitch all the way down like this. The thing we need to do next is iron. Just do it, you know, press the seam allowances one direction on one and the opposite direction on the other. Sewing correctly or not. So we just open this up, press this seam open, and yeah, we were off. Alright, I'm going to try to get these a little better, although this will always be under here and rather out of sight. Top row looks almost exactly where it's supposed to be. So the only mix up is down here with this. I'm not going to take it out and do it over. I'm just not. Not for what it is. Now if it were for something else, you know, that was going to be somewhere not in my sewing room where I'm literally the only one who sees it, then yeah, I probably would. But that's not the case. The case is this is for me so that I don't have to constantly feel this. And this will definitely help with that. Okay, so the next thing I need to do is probably give it a press. I may actually even clip in between each of these intersections to kind of help it lay down. And that might also help with feeling lumps and bumps. So if I just take my fabric scissors and clip into that little section right there. So what I need to do is I need to trace the finished design onto the purl. Okay. Now I'm going to pin. Probably not in my entire life will I ever quilt. We'll just put it that way. Okay, so now I'm going to go fuse this to my backing. I will be right back. Now, right sides together. So I have to stitch it together and then turn it into the right side out before I quilt it, otherwise I wouldn't be able to flip it. It'd be all quilted and stitched together. Here and here. And I want to leave it open on the outside of these seams right here. I don't want to be on the inside, I want to be on the outside. So mark and mark. Okay. I think I'm going to start on this right here. So I'm using this fabric, the top. I'm going to use the side of my sewing machine foot to stitch along that fabric, not the lower bottom fabric that's on the sewing machine. Is what I was talking about earlier. We don't know where the selvage was when this fabric was cut. We're left not knowing. And that sometimes can cause some of that pulling and stretching as you're sewing. Sometimes it has nothing to do with it. It's just one of those things. Okay, ooh, exciting. So now we're going to go through here and we're going to trim all this excess. And we're going to clip into our little corners and we're going to trim off, not get the fusible fleece in my seam allowance, which is exactly what I really wanted. I did not want a whole bunch of fusible fleece inside this seam allowance. It just makes them bulky and really, really hard to deal with. So now it is time to turn this out, and you want to make sure that you're turning the fabric. You don't want to be going in between your lining, your fleece, and your fabric. So straight in between the two pieces of fabric, carefully, those little points turned. Like so. And I think it turned out really nice. I will be pressing it. All right, I am going to go press. I am going to press this and the backing part under, And then I'm going to stitch all the way around, and then I'm going to quilt just willy-nilly on the lines of this pattern that I have here. So here it is. It's not that great, but I'm very happy with it for my sewing room. Now that I know what I would need to know to make it perfect, I can do this for someone else and use the proper type of batting. I think that would be a really fun project. It really didn't take that much time at all. And I'm happy that I was able to use some of the fabrics that I have. Having located this little charm pack, it was in a box that I had taken to a class that I attended one time before COVID-19. I didn't get to go back, so that's kind of sad. I miss sewing with my, compatriots, people who like to sew. It's a lot of fun to do it, when you're with people that enjoy the same hobby. It's just a lot of fun and you learn a lot. Everybody has a fun story to share. But anyway, I hope that you enjoyed this little stitch, this little make. It really wasn't a tutorial unless you were trying to come up with something for a similar situation. If you have a desk that's got this rough area here. So this, I can already feel that that's going to make sewing so much better. Now what my plan is, I'm going to kind of put it into action here. I will come into my sewing room. George is back here against the wall, and then I can just take this mat that I normally use to pull him toward me for stitching, and look at there. It worked. I mean, I seriously just heard that, everything is fantastic music that you hear in movies. La! And then if I push it back, okay, so this doesn't go with it, but that's okay. Okay, so thank you so much for joining me today. I hope everyone has a wonderful Wednesday, August the 5th. Enjoy your time together, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.